Hi, this is Eric Wanaina. Keep it locked here on Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Certified Cinema. Tumeanza na mbwembwe sio? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to airing number 9. And once again, this is Certified Cinema coming to you live from Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug for all things movies and TV shows. And this is where you come to get your weekly dose of all things movies, TVs, and pop culture. I am your ever dependable host, Campez Nawiri, movie nerd, movie reviewer, movie recommender, and nerd evangelist. And you are tuned in to airing number 9. And once again, we want to say thank you to everyone who's tuned in since day one. We always have a fantastic time every time we come here, and ushering us into this new episode was none other than BN with All My Enemies Are Suffering, because all the haters are suffering right now. Because we are taking over, fantastic interviews, fantastic discussions. We thank you everyone for who's been commenting, sending us voice notes about your reviews and your opinions on what we've been talking about so far. And talking about progress and putting enemies of progress to shame. Today, I am joined by a very fantastic human being. He is a jack of all trades. He is a host on one of our shows, breakfast shows here. And today, he is joining us on Certified Cinema because he's also a movie connoisseur and he's into the culture and he has some hot takes and some things to get off his chest, right? Because we'll be having some reviews for you today, as well as our topic of the day, where we are focusing on local film today. That's right, you heard me right. We have been talking about Hollywood movies for a long time. We've been talking about anime. And one thing that came up last week as we were talking to Jotham was the scene in terms of the geek industry, in terms of shifting perspective to the local scene. And that, gave us the idea, what if we shift the conversation this week to local movies? And so the topic of the day today is, why do all Kenyan movies feel and look the same, despite the advancement that we've gotten over the last few years? And so the gentleman we have as a co-host and as a guest today has a lot to get off his chest. If you've been tuning in to the Breakfast Jam, you know this face. And if you haven't, you'll get to know this face and this voice. I'm talking about none other than the Hotep from Nairobi. Give it up for Njagi!
Wagwan, my people. It is an honor to be here alongside, your ever dependable nerd evangelist himself, Campez, man. Yeah. But yeah, I know I may not look it, but yeah, trust you me, man. I'm a big nerd myself.
Yeah. He looks like a cool kid, but cool kids know a lot about movies. Come on, Njui.
But no, I do not know a lot about movies. I have studied movies.
Okay. So you're what? A student of the game.
Hey, bana. Since yeah, I am. Like that's all I can say. It is like yeah.
Wait. First of all, I've never gotten the chance to ask you this.
Yeah.
Like I tune in for the shows. We've been here together, but I've never asked you, what's a Hotep? I just know you're a Hotep from Nairobi. And where should Hoteps be from?
In fact, I didn't know you were going to ask this question. I actually had something specifically planned for this if you're going to ask that. I was going to talk about a movie called The African Tale that was a parable written by Jomo Kenyatta in 1930 and was made into a Russian animation in 1963 after Kenya got its independence. But basically, to summarize it, a Hotep is a black supremacist. The same way you might have the KKK, which is a white supremacy group.
Yeah.
Hoteps are black supremacists. But again, now the Hotep from Nairobi, I'm not black. I am an African. So my values are built more on Pan-Africanism than they are on black liberation. So I mean, black is maybe the generalization that we have, but for anybody of African descent, I believe those are the people that I am trying to empower.
So, in a nutshell, a Hotep is an educated racist.
Yes.
But
yes.
some people would argue and say you can't be black and be racist, man, because we're
And
always on the short end of the stick.
Those people are dumb. Anybody can be a racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just to pick off something we got from our guest last week is passion is not racist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, passion. You cannot put a color to passion, and because you're passionate about movies, to everyone watching from anywhere around the world, welcome once again. This is Certified Cinema.
Man.
I just want to give you a rundown of what we have lined up for you today. So today we will be doing 2 reviews. We are going to be talking about Caught Stealing.
Man.
Yeah, we had the chance to see it at the Advance Media Screening last Thursday. Shout out to Fox Film Distributors and to Westgate for that special invite. Like I told you, sisi ni deep stay. We see it before you guys.
Exactly. You see those reviews you read when you're buying the tickets. Right here.
Yeah. So we got to see this at the media screening, and we're gonna tell you what that's all about. We're also going to be talking about Inside Job. Inside Job is the Netflix movie starring Jackie Vike, aka Awinja, and Mamito Eunice. It's a Tosh Gitonga movie, and it caught a lot of waves when it came out. And I would say the first impression I got was that this is way more advanced in terms of aesthetics, in terms of how it looks like, as opposed to what we've been getting from previous movies from, like, I would say maybe 2020 and backwards. The new era of the Netflix produced Kenyan movies seems to be marking a change in how movies are made and TV shows are made in Kenya nowadays. Hence the topic of the day, which we'll also get into, which is why do a lot of Kenyan movies look and feel the same, right? And so this is the movie that sparked this that conversation, because it's the latest movie that's been on the scene that had people talking, right? And has people still talking about it. And of course, we will get to Read the Room, which is our segment where we highlight movies and TV shows to watch based on what's happening around the world in movies, TV, and in global affairs in general, right? So, because, movies and art draw from life. Life imitates art, art imitates life. So let's watch what what's been happening around the world, right? So that's what we have lined up for you today. But as always, feel free to join in on the banter. Feel free to get it off your chest. Feel free to tell us why you think Kenyan movies feel and look the same on our WhatsApp number running down below, right? I hope the Hotep has some fans, some other educated people who will bring in their ideas. And of course, you heard it here first when it comes to music. We've got a fantastic music break for you as always. You heard it here first. We bring the hits and the heat. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into our first review of the day.
All right.
Which was Caught Stealing.
So you want to start or I start?
Let me start. Because I know you've come, ushapiga press ups.
Hey, yeah, man.
Let me play the good cop kwanza, right? So, for those who don't know what Caught Stealing is, it's the latest movie starring Austin Butler. If you've watched Elvis, if you've watched Dune Part 2, he played Fedrotha in Dune Part 2 and Elvis in Elvis. So this is the latest movie starring Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz. And it follows his character called Hank, who seems to be doing a simple favor for a neighbor and a friend, which is cat sitting. But then, turns out he's entangled himself in the world of his neighbor called Russ. And so, before you know it, he has Russian mobsters, chasing him down. He's being chased by some Jewish gangsters. The police are after him. He has to be a good, his girlfriend is now in danger. So it starts off as something simple. And then the more the movie unfolds, it keeps on getting messed up, and you could see that from the trailer. And I was interested in it also because it's made by the same director who made
Darren Aronofsky.
Black Swan. Yeah,
Bruv.
if you've watched,
The Wrestler. Oof.
yeah, and The
Requiem
Whale.
for a Dream.
Yo. So I watched this trailer and I was like, is this by the same director? Because things are like so, we used to see him making trippy stuff, right? Because like from Requiem of a Dream
even Black Swan.
and Black
like,
Swan,
Yeah, those were really in like deep movies, I would
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
And then even the style, they were like psychological thrillers.
Yeah, very.
Because if you watch like Requiem of a Dream, it's about the drug addicts. It has that theme. And even with Black Swan, we have Natalie Portman playing a ballerina addicted to winning, obsessed with winning, and the obsessive performer. So shifting from that to like gangster movies was like, okay, what's this guy cooking? And when I watched it, it also had this very like Guy Ritchie feeling to it.
It did.
And that's what I liked about it first and foremost, that there was a very huge shift in tone from what we've known about the director. So that was me before going into the cinema. But still, I wasn't sold enough. I was just still like, it's just going to be a regular crime thriller. If I miss it, I miss it. If I don't, and even going to the screening, I was just like, oh man, it's 6 p.m. There's going to be traffic. If I miss it, nothing. But damn, was I shocked. This caught me way off guard. Way off guard. I didn't expect this to be one of like the most entertaining movies I've seen in cinemas this year. Because for one thing, every scene just keeps you hooked. Most movies take this trajectory where it starts slow and then peaks. But this one is like a linear graph, like the more you watch, the more excited you become. It's not like a slow burn curve that peaks. It just peaks from the beginning. We start off a bit slow, but it's still, still have that humor. It's funny from the beginning. And then the more things keep going, the more characters keep getting introduced, the plot gets complicated and you're like, okay, where is this going? And every time you think Hank has found a solution, because one time he's like, the police are after him. He's just been beaten up. He's in hospital. You think he's safe. And then now the Jewish gangsters show up. He calls the police. The police are here. And then plot twist, the police are colluding with I don't know who. And then it's like, he's always trapped in each and every scene.
Yeah.
And he does this with this kind of gritty feel, where you feel it's kind of, 90s New York feels kind of, I don't know, I'm avoiding to use the word dirty, but it was so messy.
But yeah, that's what it is. I think that's the feeling he was trying to give off.
Yeah. And it adds also onto the characters themselves who are shady in character. And even, the crime scene, the dark kind of drag world. I like how it's also very self-contained. We don't get to see like hundreds of characters. It's just like these few characters. And they're always interacting with Hank in these few scenes, right? So I like that every scene had a lot of tension. You couldn't help get your eyes off it and think, how is he going to get out of this? Every time you just think, okay, now things are simmering down. Fuck you.
Man.
It's a new problem. And it's like, oh man, like it was a roller coaster of emotions. You think we're good, and then it surprises you. We are not good, right? And then there's always this feeling of confusion, like what's going on? So it puts you in the seat of Hank to try and figure out,
like, what's next?
Yeah, what's next? What's happening? On the flip side, now, what I didn't like is that we were confused. We didn't know what's going on. Like, that was the strength and the weakness of the movie. Like, we had to keep it kept us guessing. But the flip side of it was like, it kept us guessing. Like, what's this movie about? Why are they chasing him? Why is this gang in competition with this other gang? You couldn't get that as you followed the story linearly. It all came down to one exposition dump by Matt Smith. And it was done through his heavy British accent. It was like,
Mm.
yo, so, you know, the Hebrews don't want it for the Jamaicans.
Exactly.
And the Puerto Ricans are into it. The police also want into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want the money. I just went off to see my dad. I was like, okay. And he's speaking fast. You can't really make it out. I don't know. Maybe that was me. But that's what I didn't like about the movie. But overall, I was simply caught off guard. And I was like, I would watch this again just to understand the plot and also just to laugh my guts out again. I don't know what you thought about it.
I won't lie, bruh. Okay, well, again, man, as I said, film is something I've been studying for years.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, I won't lie. I don't think I was kept guessing as much. For me, I think it was because of the way the characters are written. You can kind of see where their mentality is at. So even like Regina King being exposed as the cop. Shout out Regina King.
Shout out
Amazing
Regina King.
job, bro.
Ooh.
If you don't know who that is, go watch the Boondocks. So yeah, even when she was revealed as a cop, I could see it coming.
Yeah.
I think the way the characters are set up, if you look at their characters, because again, Darren Aronofsky is somebody who character building is very, very deep in his work, as we've said, from Requiem for a Dream, Black Swan, and even The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. Amazing movie. Like the way the characters are done, you know that type of person. You've met people with that type of attitude, and you can kind of put yourself like, how would they think? But I mean, let me tell you, bro, I don't think, for me, even from the jump, when Zoe Kravitz is on the window and they're over there doing that sexy talk, I was like, woo! And then the next scene, there's a bit of nudity here and there. I was like, woo!
Don't watch this with your brother.
Man, so I think for me it was like, but you're right, it wasn't a thing of, there was a bit of moments where it would stagnate, but you're right, I don't think the energy ever dropped. Man, and let me give you my account of the things, because I think we walked in a few seconds into the movie. We didn't just come in like, so yeah, even like when you were saying late 90s, I just remember seeing like the credit for 19 something leaving just as we walked into the cinema. But so I even forgot his name was Hank. So we check in with, I hope this is going to be spoiler alert, by the way, let me just tell you.
Well,
so
actually, wait, have we gone past the 2-week rule yet? No, it came out last Friday. So we're still in week 1. So we can say maybe light spoilers.
Light spoilers.
Light spoiler alert. We're trying to give you guys time to watch the movie.
But yeah, as he said, basically, Hank, good guy, he's a bartender. He's your average nice guy with a troubled past. So when we come in, I'm not going to tell you what the troubled past is, but so we check in, Hank, bartender, working his job, it's late night, boom. His girlfriend, the beautiful Zoe Kravitz, Catwoman, walks in, and over there, they have some like really sexy talk. I can't remember what she was like, I'm a bit drunk, why don't you take me home and take advantage of me? I was like, woo!
Why don't you go home and take advantage of my poor judgment?
Ooh, yeah, my poor judgment. Ooh.
Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
If I catch you. Oh, sorry, honey. It was just a joke. Ni entertainment. Sorry.
Man. So yeah. So of course, when a fine thing like that is coming to your window and speaking to you like that, what does he do? He goes home. But as he says, as he's heading home into his apartment, boom, he sees Matt Smith over there, British punk rocker, being like, bro, can you take care of my cat? Because I go home to see my dad. No. Boom, he gives him the cat. He gives them, everything the cat needs. Cat food, cat litter box, everything. So after a few days, I think it was maybe even the next day, Hank coming back to his apartment, sees some bulky ass guys outside Russ's. Outside Russ's apartment, and they're like, yo, is Russ home? And he's like, who wants to know? And they start an entire argument. Boom, they feel like Austin Butler has too much attitude, start beating him. Bro starts pissing blood. Now we get the dramatic part of like why he's so troubled. I'm not gonna spoil it. Wakes up in the hospital with Zoe Kravitz looking over him. I could get kicked in the kidneys till I start pissing blood if Zoe Kravitz will come to my hospital room. But yeah.
Bro, you're down bad.
Oh, man. That's Zoe Kravitz, bro. That's Zoe Kravitz.
Okay. I'm already in deep shit enough, so.
Bana. I shouldn't tell her what you said about Rihanna.
So.
But anyway.
What happened to the bro code?
Yeah, but now that's what we should ask Russ when we put Hank in that situation.
Yeah.
Because what he did is that he gave this guy the key. What he was talking about, like the main MacGuffin, or like one of the major inciting incidents of the movie, he throws it into his apartment without him knowing. So when the gangsters pull up, they're like, bruv, we know he gave you something.
Yeah.
Where is it? What did he give you? And where is it? But Hank, genuinely being oblivious, again, nice guy, bro, is just trying to do his friend a favor. Doesn't know. Gets beaten again. Who do they bring in? Bad Bunny. And I will say this for a fact. Every movie this guy gets into, he is genuinely evolving as an amazing actor.
Yeah.
He's one of the people who I'd say, we have guys like Eminem in 8 Mile, Ice Cube in everything from Friday, Boys in the Hood, who's been one of those rapper actors. But I'll say Bad Bunny, he's doing a phenomenal job. Bullet Train, mwah.
And I like how he knows the extent of his abilities. So he's not trying to come into any movie he's in. He's not trying to take over.
Yes.
Like, I'm like with Eminem starting in the whole movie, or like The Rock when he started in his earlier days.
Yeah.
Coming in and like he wants a major role that could sell him as the star of the show. He knows his limits. He knows he keeps it to this integral but still minimal roles.
Yeah.
Where if he was not part of the story, the story wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
But once he exits the story because most of his roles never see the end of the film. Either he dies or he just, it's just a cameo of sorts.
Yeah.
When he exits, it makes sense that he exited.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what gives him the ability to, evolve. Because he's gauging himself with each movie. Yeah,
Fact.
But you're going down the plot.
But so basically, boom, gangsters come in. I forgot to mention this guy, but there's a neighbor of theirs down the hall. The guy who is in your apartment every time your music goes above 3 dB. A heather calls the caretaker, he's knocking at your door. So that guy comes and they're telling him, bro, F off. Like, you don't want anything of what's happening in here. F off. So sadly, Bad Bunny, his character is a Puerto Rican gangster. So in his emotional burst, he goes to the door and cusses the guy out. But the Russians are like, now look what you've done. We can't torture him because our faces have been seen.
Yeah.
So this guy, Austin Butler is like, dang, now what do I do? So he's like, he can either, like, because he goes, I think at that point is where he goes around his apartment and he finds the MacGuffin, what Russ left in his house. So he's like, aight, what do we do? And he's like, do I call the cops or I call the gangster? Because Bad Bunny left his number on a paper. So there's a really nice scene. I love the devil and the angel on his shoulder because he looks at the piece of paper with Bad Bunny's number on it, and he looks at the policewoman Regina King's card on it, and he's like, who do I call? So he decides, you know what? I'm done with all this gang stuff. Let me just call the police and maybe they can help me.
Yeah.
Boom. She comes, picks him up, they're having a conversation, and he literally tells her everything. Aight, so this is what happened. These gangsters, came, they tried to do whatever, Regina King. Like, even in that scene when they're eating the pie, you feel like she's stalling.
Yeah.
That story about the cookies, that was nonsense. You could literally feel like she's stalling. So, eventually, and you see this, because guess who walks into the bar? Russian gangsters, Bad Bunny. They take the guy, they take the cat, back of the car, and they're like, aight, you're going to tell us what you did with, whatever he gave you. So he's like, I don't know what I did with it, but I think I gave it to my boss. And so they're like, aight, take us to your boss. He goes to the bar where he works, where again Zoe Kravitz came, in the beginning, and they were doing the entire na.
Yeah.
So they go to the bar, they meet the bar owner, him and Action Bronson, another amazing cameo. Him and Action Bronson are just doing lines of coke over there in the bar.
That's another thing about Caught Stealing. I love that every character that comes in is a solid character, even if it's brief. But they also had high-level actors and celebrities coming in for like minor but integral roles.
Man.
Like Action Bronson, then Bad Bunny.
Man.
And then you come to realize, I actually hadn't realized this until I saw the credits, that Vincent
D'Onofrio was a Jewish gangster. Yeah. Amazing, bro. And the makeup was so heavy.
The makeup was awesome, the beard.
Yeah, and even his accent.
Was this?
Yeah.
Kingpin from Daredevil.
Yep.
Really? I had
Yep.
to watch the trailer again to be like, okay, yeah, it's him.
Yep. But I
And
think. Yeah.
And there was also one of the other gangsters, the Jewish gangsters, was Liev Schreiber.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my.
He was
Again.
Sabretooth in X-Men
Yeah.
Origins, Wolverine.
I forgot. But what's the name of that other show he did? Was it Duncan? Something like. But
Yeah,
there
it
was
was
another show.
yeah, there was another TV show, another solo
Yeah.
TV show he had.
Yeah, again, amazing cast from beginning to end,
Yeah.
top to bottom, mwah, lovely.
Yeah.
So Russian gangsters, Bad Bunny pull up. Then I think they drive him to the bar.
Mhm.
Again, they walk in. Action Bronson and the owner of the bar. I've also forgotten his name, but he's also a very amazing side character in a lot of movies and series. Very
Yeah.
funny guy. So they're over there just doing lines of coke on the bar, and Action Bronson's character is just being larger than life. He's like, what are you guys doing here? Who invited you? Who the are you? Who are you? Asking me who I am. Who the are you? So they kill Action Bronson. Boom, bullet to the side of the head. Alright, so the boss is like, you know what? I don't want any trouble over here. He's like, you know what, Hank? Just follow me into the back. I'll take you to the safe and I'll get you. You gave me the key. I'll give it to you. So they go into the back room. The boss goes down under the desk, and I could tell. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just again. I could see the writing. I could read the characters.
Yeah.
But I could tell. Oh, he's gonna do a shootout.
Yeah.
It was obvious. So again, from the bottom of the bar, he comes out, just leans back. Boom! The first one. So they realize what's happening. The gangsters run out of the room, and Hank locks the door, and they just like duck down. Gangsters, of course, they have their own guns. Grrrr, start spraying around the room. So again, his boss is again overzealous. You have a shotgun in your hand. You think you run the world, bro. So he pops out, opens the door, and what do? Immediately smoked right in front over there. So again, Hank is left in a situation where he's left at the peril of the gangsters.
Before you spoil the entire movie, but I think that's what I meant by every time you think he's out of the gutters. Something just happens.
Bro, this is a Darren Aronofsky's film. I knew this boy had no hope in the beginning.
And that's what adds that element of humor.
Exactly.
To stealing. Where it's like, someone, you said you studied film, right?
Yeah.
So there's this thing about comedy in general, whether in film or in stand-up, where humor stems from incongruence. Incongruence means things not lining up.
Yeah, they're unexpected.
So what you expect would happen is the total opposite.
Yep.
And that's where the humor comes in. Like when you're saying, we just know, we know, okay, yeah, it actually seems like he may be actually be getting a gun. But the incongruence in that is we don't know. He's just being genuine. Like, this thing is heavy.
Yeah, exactly. I can't lift it.
Yeah. The lock, it has jiggle to it. Let me try.
Yeah. Let me reach it. And lovely.
You just know. Okay, this is not what we're expecting. We're just expecting them to get the key and go.
Yeah.
And that was in every scene. Every time there's something that just seems like
when there's a bit of hope.
There's a bit of hope.
Crushed.
And the fact that it leads into someone always kicking the bucket.
Yeah, that's another thing about it.
Or
It had that Game of Thrones thing of anybody can die. Don't get attached to these characters.
Yeah.
And so I found that lovely because even, for example, one of the major, everybody, I won't lie, because of the cast, all these people have been A-listers at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe aside from Bad Bunny, but he's a world-renowned musician. But everybody there is somebody that you know, but don't get attached to any of them.
Yeah.
That's what this movie literally, even the most important guy, who knows, even Hank might have died at the end. I'm not going to tell you.
The cat almost died.
So it was amazing. And the way you're saying, because Darren Aronofsky, his movies are very dark and gritty.
Yeah.
They're the type of things that they drag, like, I don't want to say they drag you down, but when you're really invested, like in Black Swan, like when you really get invested in Natalie Portman and you see her desire and like that passion to be the best, but like the consequences of that, it gets really dark.
Yeah.
And so this movie does the same thing, but the way you were saying, it has that Guy Ritchie style of mafia like comedy, from things like Snatch, or even like one of my favorite ones recently, The Gentleman. Amazing movie, and it has that darkness of Darren Aronofsky, and he does not let that go, but it has that comedic thriller effect as well. And I think the way that he blends those two genres, because he sticks to his strong suit, but the ability to experiment with this, it made personally,
it was fantastic.
yeah, it's a film even I didn't really expect to enjoy that much.
Yeah.
But after watching it, even I was over there like, whoa, damn, wow,
And then
I knew it.
the thing is, it's a collective experience, which brings me to talking about the cinema experience. When you're getting these reactions and the people being like, ooh, and the laughter, it wasn't just a thing that I felt. It was like everyone was feeling.
Yes.
So I took that as validation to that people are actually enjoying the movie.
Yeah.
And which brings me to the cinema experience. I think in terms of cinema experience, which is how much you enjoy a film when you're watching it in the cinema experience with this is with watching it with people.
Definitely.
It's not, because it's not a 3D film. It's not a sci-fi film where it's supposed to drag you into this world to make you feel like you're in outer space or anything. The good thing about it is with the story and the characters and everything. But in terms of cinema experience, I had some chatter outside the theater even after we walked out. Some people saying this was easily a movie I could watch at home.
Yeah.
Because there isn't much in terms of cinema experience, right? But which I kind of agree, because most people, which is a problem that I think we have in Kenya, most people want to go to a movie in cinemas if it's like a 3D movie or
blockbuster,
a big blockbuster or and this wasn't that. This was a tight-knit, personal, character-driven movie.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm always gonna watch any movie I want to watch. I'll first watch it in cinema if it has a theatrical release.
Definitely.
But I feel like this is a story everyone should experience.
Yeah, because
in theaters, and just to like give you that nudge, go with your friends.
Yeah. Definitely. I think Hank's story is a story like a lot of us can relate to.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the sense of the gangsters chasing you because of one dumb thing, but in the sense of like those times when you feel hopeless, like at the bottom of the barrel, and you see the light at the end of the tunnel, and boom, that light turns out to be the train coming to smack you in the face. And so also like even like I felt like it was also very, very realistic in like his troubles. Like I remember him and Zoe Kravitz were arguing about his alcoholism, and now when the gangsters beat him up and took out his kidney, boom, he can't drink as much as he would have wanted to. So it's literally, you see him also evolving like that. I also think a lot of the decisions he made during that period, like after he got really messed up at the bar and he was trying to find the keys again, was decisions he was making while sober. So I think that was also a very, very nice definition between the Hank we met at the beginning versus the guy who is doing this. And one of the things that I really, really loved about it is he's still a down-to-earth guy. Every scene, like after something messed up, or basically let me say at the beginning of every day in the movie, he has to call his mom, be like, yeah, this is what's up, go Giants, hangs up the phone. Even if it's just, yeah mom, I'm alive, or I'm in shit right now, go Giants, boom, that's it. Because I don't know about you, but may have that thing of, bro, I can, even with my age right now, I can land in another country and I'll be like, yo mom, don't worry, I'm alive.
You always have to talk to someone. You have to talk to your special people. So I also loved, that's what we are talking about when you're talking about character driven stories, because just to like put it into perspective for the viewer, when you're watching a movie can be driven two ways. The plot can be driven two ways. It can be character driven, or it can be story, or let's say plot driven. So character driven is where you feel the characters are the ones driving the story. You're getting to know a character, the situation they're in, and then the story unfolds as you go. And then story driven movies are like where there's an overarching story, and then now we are getting introduced to characters who are adding elements to the story, or like also helping us tell the story. So, for example, like I would say,
Gentleman, Guy Ritchie, bro. Gentleman by Guy Ritchie is an amazing story-driven film.
Or like World War Z. Like we already know it's a zombie invasion or like Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And then now we start off with Mila Jovovich, but we already know the world is in disarray.
Yeah.
And then now we start figuring it out. The more other characters come into the story. But you see, with Caught Stealing, we start with Hank, and then we move with him as he meets new characters and keeps on getting into more trouble.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel like that's my kind of... I'm leaning towards those kind of stories. And I love that this caught me off guard, and I think everyone should see it. If you want to watch it in cinemas, that's the tip. Make sure you go with your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this feels like a good group outing.
Yeah.
But if you like to stay home and wait for it at home, I really don't think you'd be missing that much. Maybe you'd miss on the experience of the music, because the music was actually very fantastic.
Definitely.
Hearing it on those huge speakers.
Yeah.
That was another thing that I absolutely loved about it. Yeah. What didn't you love about it?
Let me think. Well, there was a bit of times when I felt like characters would make decisions that, like, even, like, I guess, you're a gangster and everything, but there's some decisions that I felt was stupid. I'm trying to remember. I think it was in the park. I can't remember what happened, but I felt that was one of the times I was like, no rational human being, especially with somebody who is a criminal, because you have to be extra smart if you're a criminal, would make such decisions. But again, maybe that's just for driving the story forward. So I can't really blame the writing too much. I'm trying to think, what didn't I like about it? Maybe I'd have to watch it a second time, because again, this is also a week old. So I think I focused on a lot of the things that I did enjoy about it, because overall I think there were more positives than negatives in my opinion.
Yeah, true.
So like as I was saying before, even I don't think the movie didn't keep me guessing too much. And it really, I enjoyed it. Even like whenever some characters would die, there were some characters who you thought were so integral to the plot, boom, bullet in the head, you're like, damn. Hey, Vala Mogules, anybody can die. All men must die.
All men must die.
Man, so I mean, again, it not being a traditional Darren Aronofsky film, as I said, when I walked in, I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. So maybe we can come back to this, but I'm saying overall, I did enjoy the movie. Genuinely, because even the situations the situations he was put in were either very like realistic to the plot. It wasn't like something dumb, like this out of the ordinary. A lot of the times it was like genuine, like it was a realistic situation. Like even when he came back to the house, couldn't get in through his door, so he went through his Russ's apartment. Then he hears guys at the door, so he has to jump into his apartment. And even when I was like, oh, why can't he go down the fire escape? Realistically, a lot of people do actually put barbed wire, because that's an easy way for people to come and rob you. So I was like, it makes sense. So I did genuinely enjoy it. Of course, there were moments like even that there's a scene where one of the guys is acting like a dog. So maybe that was a moment where I was like, this is unrealistic. It's dumb. I felt like it was just dumb. But I'm like, you know what? Maybe again, that's his character. Of course, I'm not going to spoil it, but let's just say that dog didn't last very long.
So overall, more positives than negatives.
Genuinely.
I was caught off guard. I think those little things can be overlooked and can make more sense with the second watch. I actually believe so too. If I go give it a second watch, maybe I could get through Matt Smith's heavy British accent.
Well, it was amazing.
Get the conspiracy of why these gangs were out for each other. But I would definitely watch it and love it again.
But he explained. You didn't. Were you paying attention?
He did. Yeah. But for me, the accent just mad everything for me, because I was like,
oh, so you know the Jews. And the thing is that I started running money for the drugs in the Puerto Rican neighborhood, but the drugs belong to the Jews. So we figured out at some point that, hey, since I know everybody, why don't they just make me the middleman? It was. But I found it very enjoyable.
But
it was my dad, bruv. I loved it. I honestly enjoyed his performance.
And it's like this whole thing is happening from something very
like
simple,
it's an honest mistake.
Genuine,
It's an honest mistake.
And I think that's the overarching maybe let me say message or lesson there or the theme there, that something small and genuine may have this butterfly effect into something very messed up.
Oh, that's another
Like
amazing
Ras just had a genuine moment of
movie. I need to go
tenderness
see
and
my
care.
dad.
I need to go see my dad. I'm not trying
Even
to,
drug dealers have parents, guys.
yeah, I'm not trying to steal money from any of these gangs I'm involved with. And then now it's causing this, it's cascading.
The ripple effect has
It's
boom.
cascading into all these people going into war with each other. And it's also from the simple act of like Hank cat sitting his neighbor's pet, and then all of a sudden he's intertwined with this whole mess. It's like sometimes you may take some things out of, the most genuine things, if misunderstood, can lead to can cascade into huge misunderstandings. Right? And so if you're not aware enough of what's happening around you, or how the small things may affect your life or that of people around you, then you're in for a mess. So mama yako akikwambia usiende kucheza kwa nani, sikiza mzazi. But overall, you guys should go watch the movie. We loved it. Tell us if you loved it. Tell us if you can get through the accent, or you're like the hotep here who can hear everything.
Bro, even the Jewish accent was very heavy with Lieb Schreiber and Vincent D'Onofrio. The Jewish accent was very heavy. But again, that just shows great acting.
Yeah, I mean, I need subtitles. I'll always need subtitles. But overall, we loved it. And that was our first review of the day. We're going to come back with the review for Inside Job, which is a Kenyan film starring Njagi Vike and Eunice Mamito. But before we get into that, we're going to leave you with some music. And leading us into our first music break of the show is Donjo Maber by Iani. See you shortly, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Certified Cinema. That was our first round, our hot takes on caught stealing. Yeah, we got a bit emotional and carried away by that, kidogo. But all in all, it's because we enjoyed it.
Man, it was a good cinema experience, man. Thanks again for inviting us.
Anytime. Thank you to Fox Film Distributors and to Westgate for having us. Keep on inviting us for these things. Now, right before we came back, we had Donjo Maber by Iani, followed by Backbencher by Toxic Lyrically. And then straight off Jade's new album, we had Community by Jade featuring Clips. And the latest track by the Fragile Op himself, as referred to by Drake, Steve Lacy, with a new one called Nice Shoes. This reminds me of, you remember when we had those vines for what are those? When someone didn't have nice shoes.
Oh, man. Oh my goodness.
But I love that Steve Lacy is back. It's been a while.
He's supposed to be releasing a new album.
That's what we're waiting for since Gemini Rights have been. I got introduced to Steve Lacy through that album, and I was kind of hoping to hear more from him, so that now I could be officially a fan. So I like that he hasn't disappointed with this one.
Actually, funny enough, I don't know the album names. I know them by the cover. Gemini, that one is the one where it's the one that has Bad Habits. The one where the cover is
with the white
blue
shirt.
background.
Yes.
I think for me, the first album, again, I can't remember the name, but it was the white background with him in an orange suit. Yeah, that was the first.
I know it. I've forgotten the name of the album too, but I love. That's the one that had dark red.
Yes.
Yeah. So good to see he is making a comeback. He's teasing us with some new music, and of course, you will hear it first on Certified Cinema. Now, to our second review of the day, and it's what has sparked the topic of the day, which is Inside Job, the movie starring Eunice Mamito and Njagi Vike, aka Awinja. And you want to go over the plot for this one, or should I?
I can do it.
Go ahead.
Let me see if I can remember it as well. Alright, so boom. So we begin with, I believe it starts off with one of them at their job.
Yeah.
It's Jackie, right?
Yeah,
she a
Jackie.
chef. Yeah, and she a really good chef. But because of where she comes from, there's a stereotype of she can't be hired at one of those like really, really high-end restaurants.
Yeah.
So we cut to the mom. The mom is housemaid at a rich Indian's place in Kuna. And of course, if you know anything about the Kuna area, you can imagine that house is amazing. So, bing, bang, boom. She's working. Her Indian boss. I'm not making it a race thing. That's just what he is. Her Indian boss, freaks out. He starts screaming and is like, yo, where are my gold cufflinks? Of course, the first person he thinks is the house help. So he fires her, out of the blue. And this is somebody who had been working for them for ages. So boom, he fires her. And of course, she's sad and everything, And when she gets home, she's on the phone and trying to at least negotiate. I've been working for you for all this time. I know even if you wanted to fire me, that's your decision. That's cool. Can I at least get my pension? Mm-hmm. And they're like, nah, you're a dirty little thief. You're not getting ish. Mm-hmm. So the daughter overhears it and she's like, damn, man, that's depressing. Because again, she's been working for them for years. So the daughter also knows the family. Man, so the daughter now tells her cousin, Mamito. Now Jackie tells Mamito and is like, yo, I've forgotten the character's name, man. But anyway.
Yeah.
So she tells her like, yo, man, can you imagine what they've done to mom? She lost her job and they're refusing to pay. And of course, Mamito, again, amazing performance by her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she's like, what do you mean? See, let's go there tomorrow and, we take it. What do you mean ask for it? Let's go and take it. So they pull up to the gate. The security guard is like, hey, who are you? Na, 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 na. And of course, again, Mamito's character is like, see, I'm his girlfriend. The guard is like, what do you mean girlfriend? His wife died ages ago. Who do you think has been servicing him all these years? That very well written. That is a believable story.
Yeah.
So, boom, he's looking at her. He lets them in and is like, your service, So they get in, they find the guy leaving the house as he's going on a business trip or something because he's packing his suitcases into the car. One thing I forgot to mention, so apart from the housemaid, he also has a houseboy who's some old guy. And that's the guy who's left at the house, even helping him pack his stuff into the car. Save that for later. So, he's packing his stuff, he sees the two ladies and, Jackie walks up to him and is like, yeah, yo, my mom was working for you, and it had been a long time, we just wanted to ask, even though you wanted to fire her, can she at least get her pension? Again, same thing, she's a dirty little thief, you ain't getting ish. So they're like, aight, you know what? And he eventually kicks them out of there and the security guard comes again and he doesn't want those services anymore. He's just like, get off the property. This is my job. So then they're kicked off the property. They go back home. Kumbe, Mamito has even drawn an entire landscape of the house, the architectural plans, and he's like, boom, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to break in. I know somewhere upstairs, a rich guy like this has to have a safe somewhere. Mm-hmm. We're going to go into that house where since he's on vacation, sneak in easily, bing, bang, boom, enter there, get the money, get out, give your mama the money. We all live well.
Hence the title, Inside Job.
Man. Yeah. So it was supposed to be that simple. Right. So they've set up the plan. They know what they're going to do exactly. They pull up to the house. There's a house party. They're like, damn, now what do we do? So, again, I'm not going to spoil for you everything. But again, Mamito over there with the... That was hilarious. So they decide, what we're going to do? They put on Indian face. Mm-hmm. I don't know, not black face. They put on Indian face. So they come up with the saris and everything.
Brown face now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but that actually made me wonder. If Indians put blackface, are we going to jam?
Of course we will.
But yeah, exactly. So I was like, are we allowed to do India face?
Well, like I said, most people buy into this sentiment that you can't be racist if you're black. Yeah. Especially if you've been on the other end of the whips. But I think it doesn't come off as such because it's all in the name of comedy. Yeah.
I bet. Yeah, I think maybe that's why also Tropic Thunder. Maybe that's why Robbie Downey Jr. didn't get too much flack for it.
Yeah, sure.
But boom, they pull up with India face at the gate. So the Wachi again, because he was asking for those services, he recognizes her like, hey, the two girls that were here earlier today, and then they're like, no, we weren't. Na. Like again, Brahma, I was watching that like. This is a very thin line they're dancing on. But again, I'll review, after the plot breakdown, I'll give you my thoughts.
Yeah.
So, Aight, so they do the whole, na 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 na, and she calls one of the guys from the Jabba base like, hey man, you ongea Gujarati. The guy is like, aight, bet. So somehow the guy from the Jabba base knows fluent Gujarati.
Yeah.
Puts the phone to the watchy, and
which is actually surprising.
Yeah,
and
but
funny.
I think, but again, it was hilarious. I love that concept for stories of Jabba.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. Even, we'll go into like the review of the scene and the setting and everything. But yeah, so, Jabba guy is like, yeah, man, talks in Gujarati, tells the Wachi to open the gate. He opens the gate, they get in. So they land at the house party. I mean, again, Kuna Estate, this is a rich kid party. 90% of the people you see there, bruh, I mean, they knew the theme that they were going for. I don't think I saw a nigga in there.
Yeah.
I think I did, but anyway. So, they get into the house party, and, one of the girls is like, who are you guys? Na 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 na. And it turns out that that's the main guy, the son of the Indian guy, that's his ex. So she's like, who are you girls? Na 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 na. Then his sister comes and is like, oh, you all must be friends of Ravi. And so she calls him and like, yo, Ravi, na 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 na, pull up. I've seen there's some friends of yours over here that want to say wagwan.
Yeah.
So, they start, trying to, because now the actual guy is there. So they're trying to like bullshit their way around like, oh, no, you don't remember high school? We did biology together. Bro is like, I never did biology. So, of course, they're starting to see some cracks in the stories. And so eventually, they call out Mamito and it's like, no, what do you do? She's like, oh, no, my friend is a sous chef and I'm an executive chef. So they're like, Miss Executive Chef, come and cook for us. So one of the things that I found really nice was she's like, aight, I'll make you guys food. Is there beef? And shout out to my boy Ronnie Karaoke playing piano over there. Like, beef won't be on the menu tonight. But she goes into the pantry and calls her friend, now the actual chef, Jackie, and is like, yo, what can I make these guys? I need to make them something. It's got to be good vegetarian meal type beat. And so she literally guides her on making a spectacular meal. Everybody at the party seems to love it. And they go on. I mean, they were able to bullshit their way through that entire scenario.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, while Mamito is over there down there trying to cook and impress the guests, Jackie's upstairs trying to look for the safe upstairs. So while she's snooping around the house, she enters now the dad's room, and look who pops up over there, tall, handsome Ravi, like, you looking for something?
All googly eyes,
you
and
know?
stuff. Yeah.
And she's like, no, I was just looking for the washroom. He's like, oh, you can go in here, but you better hurry up. My father would kill me if he knew I let anyone in here.
Yeah.
And so, of course, that's where you see like them trying to bring in the tension. And so it goes on. They come out of the bathroom, her and Ravi just keep vibing. They end up poolside talking, and he's trying to drop the bars. Bro is over there like, wagwan, what we gonna do?
Trying to raise
Exactly.
up the shorty.
Man, and I think one of the things that make it interesting is the fact that it's a bit of a Cinderella story.
Yeah.
In the fact that she was raised in that house, because she talks about how every weekend they used to come there when the mom was still working there.
Yeah.
And they were raised together until he found other friends.
Yeah.
And so there's that thing of he doesn't recognize her, but she remembers him. And so they were there, you can tell like they really built that tension really well. So eventually they're poolside. Then his ex calls him from the balcony. So as he's turning, I don't know what mystical powers this guy has, but he turns and knocks her into the pool. And again, this is where, again, mystical powers. Bro takes off his jacket. Somehow his shoes also came off. He jumps into the pool and comes out carrying her like it's Baywatch. Like, comes out of the pool carrying her. And then like, they were going to get dried up.
Yeah.
And so the ex come down like, no, are you really going to ignore me for her? And this guy dropped, I mean, his acting, I will say, was a bit lackluster in my opinion.
Yeah.
But again, the writing, I'd say, was still good. Because the line of like, I've moved on. Move on. I have.
Yeah.
Like, again, that was a really good dramatic line. Again, his delivery in that particular point, I really, I thought it was very lackluster. It didn't bring across the emotion, like the oomph, that line, that was a bar, like you're telling your ex, move on.
Yeah.
Bitch,
yeah.
I've moved on. So yeah, I don't think he delivered it with the oomph that was supposed to come through. So he gives Jackie a change of clothes and is like, yo, you dry off. He goes and changes as well. Meanwhile, Mamito is still sneaking around the house trying to find, how they're gonna get the bag.
Yeah.
Boom, she's caught by the houseboy. Kumbe bro is a P. Diddy creep. He ties her up downstairs in a basement somewhere. And so now Jackie is like, I think the Jabba guy called her.
Yeah.
Or through Mamito's phone, if I'm not wrong. I mean, I think I zoned off a bit over there. But Jabba guys call like, hey, bana, ibash uko manze, tunaweza pull up. And so she doesn't know exactly what when she's like, yeah, you guys come, no problem, man.
Yeah.
So eventually, Jackie finds Mamito wherever she's tied up, and they're able to go. They retrieve the bag, and just as they're planning to run out, boom, the Jabba guys come back inside. They not come back inside, they come into the party, and the Wachi's like, "Ay, nini, nani. Kumbe, him and the Jabba guy, I don't know, maybe they know each other from the hood. They start hugging. He's like, where enter?
Yeah.
And so
the whole matatu of Jabba.
So as you can imagine, most of the rich kids over there are very, very like, oh my goodness, thieves have come. But through the power of urban tone, everybody starts dancing, na anguka nayo type beat.
And Shiksha Arora is also in this one. Yeah. She was a presenter on KBC, but she's gone full blown TikToker right now. Yeah, she plays Ravi's sister.
Oh, bro. Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
So
I'm trying to remember her name. Her performance, genuinely, she was my favorite.
Yeah.
Her acting was really, amongst everybody there, she did the best.
Yeah, so she also kind of gets into it. And
even she was over there. She was the one who unified.
She's unifying the Asians and the Kenyans in this, teaching them how to anguka nayo.
Exactly.
And that's when we finally, they make the escape, go home, sell the stuff, make money, give it to their mom.
Bana.
Yeah, and so I think this movie was supposed to be a buddy comedy movie.
Yeah.
And it delivered on that.
Fact.
In terms of being a comedy movie, actually it was, to be more accurate, it was trying to be the comedy movie with heart. Where it's like, it's funny, but they're doing this for a good reason, where they're trying to give their mom the perfect send-off, and to find her poetic justice after the injustice that was done to her. Yeah. And I feel like it was solid. And I feel like the comedy itself comes down to Mamito's performance, honestly.
Yeah, she did.
Mamito, achata nisimame.
She did.
Yeah, that was a hell of a performance from Mamito. I was blown away by that, because like every scene she was in, she was the one who was
she stole the show,
the funny character, and every time she speaks, it's just, you can't help but laugh. Even her delivery, it was just every time she's making a comeback at someone, I feel like it was so on point, and the delivery was so sassy.
Yeah.
And even when it's not sassy, when she needs to be desperate, when she needs to be, like when she was tied up, she's like, I can see what was
but nisamea kama mimi mtoto wako.
Mimi like, Mamito was fantastic, and I feel like she carried the movie.
Yeah, a lot of it. But I forgot again, man, with the names. I'm terrible at names, guys. I'm sorry. Ravi's sister.
That was Shiksha Arora.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll also say, bro, her performance genuinely, like, she also stood out amongst them.
Yeah.
Especially when it came to the party scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, not to talk down on everybody else, but she stood out.
Yeah.
She definitely stood out.
In terms of performances, those two really took the cake.
They definitely did.
With the other performances, I felt like they were trying to be over-the-top characters, but they never really got there. Like, okay, the Watchman was also good.
Yeah.
And the Jabba Boys are also good.
Yeah.
But those were side characters. The other integral characters like the X and Ravi, they don't really, they just played their part.
Yeah.
They just did what they were supposed to do as much as they could. And these were roles that I feel were very integral to the story and were supposed to bring in that heart.
Yeah.
And someone else that I felt was very underutilized and who is main to the story was Jackie. I've seen way better performances from Jackie VK than what she did with this. There was with Click Bang, fantastic.
Yeah.
Even where she started from, Papa Shirandula, that was fantastic. Because she was supposed to be the voice of reason,
Yeah.
and she was supposed to, carry the heart of the story because she's the one.
It is her
Antoine and,
mother.
yeah, it's her mother.
Yeah.
She's the one who is in love with Ravi because,
Mm,
but I feel like the writing didn't do her justice,
true.
especially because she had a lot of screen time and very little dialogue.
True. But I think, again, maybe that also goes down to the fact of, I mean, the way we said, Mamito also stole the show.
Yeah.
So, I think it's that one of, when working together, especially like in comedy and, I'd say like especially in comedy, there's a way that you need to learn how to complement each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I'll give you a duo that has crashed recently, sadly. James Franco and Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Those are two guys, whenever they appeared in a movie together, they complemented each other.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
each of them know their strengths. They know where, like as a team, like before James Franco died terribly in that cancel accident. But he did it. I'm pretty sure he did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, before his career died, like the way the two of them, from Pineapple Express to even the interview.
Yeah, the
interview is a legendary movie.
Yeah.
And you see, it's one of those ones of they know how to complement each other. So, I mean, again, but that's because of years of working together. So I'd say maybe even like for them, I think it was that one of maybe because, again, maybe this is the first time they were working together. I do still think they did make a really good duo. But I'd say maybe by the second or the third movie, that's when we'll see them like gelling a bit better. Hopefully they do continue working together.
Yeah. My concern is it's not their performances clashing. It's their writing, the characters, the way they've been written, that not only clash, because I feel like they did have chemistry.
Yeah.
Like the older, responsible sister and the young, more brash, outgoing one.
Yeah.
It's just that
They were
the
cousins,
way Jackie was poised to be, she was poised to be the main character. The one who is,
Definitely.
we are getting to feel the depth of the story through her personal struggle. But we don't actually see that struggle and how it's affecting her because, one, she doesn't speak much. She's mostly being guided by others. When it's Situfanye heist, it's Mamito. That's why Mamito ended up stealing the show.
Yeah.
I feel like they gave her less lines. You're like, Situfanye heist. And then when they get there, it's like, oh, there's a complication. Mamito steps up again. It's like, oh yeah, Ravi's here, and it's Ravi raising her up again because now she's shy and she can't speak. And so we kind of, because she's the one who's supposed to be driving us through this pain of our mom has had
Being
an
cheated out
injustice
of, yeah.
done to her. That fades into the background because you're not seeing it. Because you see, like with Seth Rogen and
James Franco,
like in the interview, for example, like they're different characters. They contradict but complement each other. But each of them has their own story arc. With Seth Rogen, we can see in the interview, we see he is a journalist. He's a show producer, and he's looking for the next big scoop.
yeah.
You can see how important it is to him. But you see with Jack, especially with the way he interacts, he has more lines to interact and kind of counter James Franco's character and go behind the lines and prep the interview and raise the Chinese military shori. But you see with Jackie, if Mamito is not leading, she's quiet. If another character doesn't come into the scene, she's quiet. And so we kind of forget, bro, your mother is out of retirement. She's low on energy right now. She's looking for jobs. She's sad. It's you who's supposed to be carrying the story, but you've been kind of written out and being supported by other characters. I felt like her personality faded into the background, and by extension, the heart of the story.
So do you think in such a situation, I would maybe say whoever wrote it knew, there's a good chance they knew who they were going to cast.
Yeah.
And maybe in that sense, they maybe put like more lines for Mamito because they knew one, her general personality, as well as her character were the ones who were going to have more energy. So maybe they gave that, maybe they put a bit more priority there.
Because they knew they wanted this to be a comedy movie.
Yeah.
And Mamito is a comedian.
Yeah.
So the intention kind of, and the intention and the attention intentionality in writing,
Mm.
and the attention on the character went to Mamito's character.
Yeah.
Because I really feel they could have done way much more to make it a more hard-hitting story.
Yeah.
I think that way is when it would make it easier to remember the character's name, the mother, even the love story, which also kind of felt like, okay, it's just happening because it's happening. But
I mean, I'd say that to me, they gave it a bit of validity on the fact that they've known each other since childhood.
yeah,
So I think like that one
Okay,
you could
okay,
see,
yeah.
So that one they
Fair
they gave me a bit of validity there.
yeah.
Bruv, let me tell you my biggest quarrel with this movie, bruv. I have Indian friends. I've been to Indian parties.
Yeah.
Maybe I haven't been to the exclusive ones where guys break off into a whole different music video halfway through the party. My guys, explain to me what that was about.
Yeah.
Did they sign a deal with the devil where they were like, bro, Indian dance party in the middle of this movie, or we're not funding it? Because it didn't make sense.
Yeah, and they were so, especially because they were so inorganically cut. Because you see, like
Yes.
with
High School Musical,
the
for example.
high school musical, or like with Bollywood movies like RRR, it's kind of, there's a segue to it. They are vibing and then they are walking through the night, and then all of a sudden they are holding hands and singing. For this is like, tumetoka kuchekelea Mamito.
Cut.
The next scene, we're expecting to see something else, or like this where Njagi is, and then it's like ding, 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 ding,
Bro.
ding. It's like, okay.
What was that? I swear to you, bro. It's literally somebody was like, my daughter is a dancer and a singer. You're going to make a music video for her in your movie.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not making the movie. But, bro, I swear to you, man.
We have to do it because you have Indians in this movie.
Yeah.
Lazima tukue na dance sequence.
Bro, I will not lie to you. I think that's probably the moment where I checked out completely. Because like the last half of it, I barely, like, apart from now, like them going to take the mom the money and the mom being like, hey, hizi biashara zako sitaki.
Yeah.
You know, because that's a very realistic African mom, reaction to where did you get this money?
Yeah.
So apart from that, bro, I can't remember the rest. And then at the end again, where the entire cast did the Indian dance thing.
Yeah.
Between that, I can't remember anything else.
Yeah.
It really threw me off personally.
You bring up something that now I had a quarrel with the movie, because it's supposed to be a buddy comedy heist movie. Where is the heist?
Man, yeah, they threw the heist to the back.
Yeah.
It's
really centered on the comedy, and like we said, comedy comes from incongruence. The plan is, let's go steal, and then the incongruence is there's a party. Now the messing up is supposed to be the comedy, and that happened. Them going having to put in the Indian regalia, the saris, that was funny. Them going to the party and being like, okay, you're a chef, cook us something, and then checking up roaming chefs videos, and then that was funny. But trying to come up with all these funny scenarios, they were supposed to go there and do an inside job. And that came in all the way to the end, where it's like, okay, now maodi wamekam, tuende tuchukue vitu mbio mbio, and then now they went out, and now it came to like 15% of the movie. I feel like, and that's what made us forget. I think that also contributed to us forgetting, like, this is actually a heist. They're actually here for a reason, and there's some stakes to it. Their mother is suffering at home. They have to go back with some money. So the fact that we're not being told that they're actually actively trying to steal and pull a heist, we end up forgetting why they are stealing in the first place.
That is true.
Because we're not being shown that they are actually stealing right now.
It
would have been another thing if they're trying to get to the safe and they're interrupted. Mamito is like trying to get to the kitchen and sneak through somewhere to go get the money, they're interrupted. But that all this just started happening towards the latter half of the movie, and I felt like that's what didn't make it really hit home. I laughed my guts out watching this one. It was supposed to be a comedy, it was, but story wise, I can't think about or like remember the highlights of the movie as the story as much as I remember the highlights being Mamito's delivery. and her
Facts.
jokes. Yeah.
'Cause you're absolutely right, because especially like to the second part, or like the second half of the movie, after they've got into the house party, I felt like we stopped focusing on the girls, and
Yeah.
we're now focusing on the party.
Yeah, on the party.
Like,
Sure,
yeah, Ravi and his best friend. I mean, that is good, like world building and character building, but it's like it didn't serve a point.
Yeah, it didn't
One.
serve the overall plot.
Yeah, and then even like Ravi finding his former best friend with his ex.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I felt like there were so many interruption points where you could insert them, like, oh yeah, this distraction has happened. We're not trying to sneak and try to get what we can. But it was just like, okay, we found her with the ex. I was like, okay, he's just gonna sit in his room and wait for Jackie. And that's it. Like nothing is trying to happen in the background.
Exactly.
Yeah. So all in all, it was a good comedy movie. But I feel like they fell off the plot they were trying to serve.
Yeah.
But one thing I commend the movie for is for trying to be different, because we don't see a lot of people doing comedy movies to that level. Most in terms of the local scene.
Yeah.
And that's why we're asking, why do most movies in Kenya look and feel the same? Because I felt this one tried to do something different in terms of writing and in terms of production as well. Because I feel like it looks really good in terms of like the set. We're coming from the old age of being like in a like kind of sitcom stage, or like people just shooting outside some gate. We're actually going into intentional set design and them trying to make like some very deliberate lighting choices. It wasn't there per se, but it's different from what we're used to and what we're used to seeing on TV shows or like the movies of old. I feel like there's some maybe the Netflix budget and Netflix support coming in has assisted, has helped to elevate that. But in terms of the story and the plot, it still kind of feels like we are halfway. It's halfway deviated, but the half is kind of what we're used to. We just know that same feeling you get like, oh, in a movie of Kenya, Maybe we'll break that down when we get to the topic of the day.
Yeah.
But I like that they try to be different, and it shows that we are progressing. We're going somewhere. Yeah.
They were funded. It's a Netflix original.
I think so.
I
think so.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, because I think Netflix were in it because it premiered in cinemas the day to promote its release on Netflix. Like they did a premiere today, and then it's releasing tomorrow on Netflix.
But did it? Well, I mean, again, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it didn't start off with a dudum. Yes, I don't think it's a Netflix original, bro. I think it's just streaming on there. Yeah.
Or maybe backed by them.
Maybe. But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know, man. But like, it's even like, I don't think it is. Like, Sincerely Daisy, it was also a Kenyan film thrown up on Netflix. Also, that one I don't think was a Netflix original. It was just that it was streaming on Netflix. I think so far the only Netflix original we have had is Country Queen. Yeah.
So that was funded and produced by Netflix.
Yeah, that is a Netflix production.
So this means that maybe Netflix was helping in the marketing and
maybe
the
and
distribution.
Distribution. Maybe I think. But again, let us, if you know, please let us know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. The professionals come clean and correct us, and we'd like to have you on the show to educate us. Yeah. So that's what I think. If you haven't watched Inside Job, go watch it. I'm all for supporting the local scene.
Yeah.
Especially with this one, especially because we're still growing and it's doing something different.
Speaking of the local scene, last week your guest calling you out.
Yeah.
So bro said that he doesn't think Jotham.
Mm-hmm.
I remember him saying that he doesn't think people would go and support Luanga Magere just
Mhm.
because it's a Luanga Magere, show.
Yeah.
But a few years ago, an amazing writer-director over here, Kenya, called J.J. Jumbi,
Mhm.
actually did a Luanga Magere play called Luanga Rockman.
Mhm.
And it was supposed to be like the story of Luanga
Wait,
Magere.
you know it's actually Luanda.
Luanda?
Yeah.
Oh, not Luanga?
No.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Jeez. No, I'm sorry. I have friends called Luanga. That's why. You are absolutely right, bro.
Lakini huyu ni wa Murima mumsari.
Man, one tribe, one nation, please.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so a Luanda Magere,
Mhm.
he wrote a play and it was called Luanda Rockman.
Mhm.
So it's basically Luanda Magere as a superhero figure type.
Mm.
And so the original play he did, I think, came out 2019, I think 2019.
Yeah.
But they did a sequel a few years ago.
Mhm.
Same exact story, not exact story, but
Mhm.
again, just based on Luanda Magere
Yeah.
as,
The law.
the law, his law.
Mm.
Bro, and they sold out Agodaman. At least me, the show I went for was sold out.
Mm.
And I was told that people went to see that thing inside and out, bro.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
The interesting thing is that I believe there's a correlation between theater and Kenyan theater and Kenyan film. Theater
Mhm.
is like on stage where, you have people come to an auditorium, there are people on the stage, they are acting on stage. And film is now movies, what you have on streaming, on your phones, right? I feel like there's a link there and it answers to that question, why Kenyan movies look and feel the same. And we will get to that right after this music break. And leading us into this music break, before we come back for our topic of the day once again, which is why Kenyan movies look and feel the same. Leading us into this break is Chris Brown featuring Bryson Tiller with It Depends. And I will see you in a to Icon Radio, and this is Certified Cinema, your number one entertainment plug for all things movies and TV shows. And joining me today is none other than the Hotep from Nairobi, Njagi himself. We've just chowed down on 2 reviews, Caught Stealing, Inside Job. We've come down from a fantastic music break. That was It Depends by Chris Brown featuring Bryson Tiller. And then we brought it back home since we're bringing it local. We had Aki Sioni by the fantastic Jere. And we had How Do You Sleep by Sam Smith.
Mm.
And now we want to ask the question, how do you sleep while you're asking yourself, why do Kenyan movies look and feel the same? It's a question that, and it's more of like a critique, because I think people say it with some disdain and some, condescension. Like, ni movie ya Kenya, man, so nitawacha zile nataka. Because movies are Kenya, that's the phrase. Movies are Kenya zinakuanga hivi. It's not like this movie is like this, And one thing that people always reference after saying movies are Kenya zinakuanga hivi is like, see kama Nairobi Half-Life. If you've noticed that.
Yeah.
So the question is, why are there most movies and then why is there Nairobi Half-Life? So here's what I think.
Yeah.
And I think it boils down to 2 things.
Yeah.
One touches on why these Kenyan movies look the same. And secondly, the second thing boils down to why they feel the same. So I'll start with why they look the same. And that comes down to production.
Yeah, definitely.
Production, for those who don't know, refers to the making, the producing of the film. Production comes down to things like set design, choice of location, costume design, the clarity of the film, basically bringing the film to life in terms of the tangible elements. The cameras used, the
lenses used,
the lenses used for particular shots, right? And I feel in production we have been lacking in, one, the technical know-how, or if not the know-how, in terms of um, technology per se, right? Because you see, we are not as advanced as like Hollywood or Bollywood, who guys who have access to like IMAX cameras, guys who have access to like partnerships with Panavision, because someone comes up with a story and they know for this particular shot, I want it to look a certain type of way.
Yeah.
For example, Sinners, they wanted to give that, late early 19s feel.
Yeah.
That's why they went for the Panavision shot, because it has this grimy film
Yeah.
feel to it, and also IMAX bringing in that big aspect ratio
Yeah.
for those high octane scenes,
IMAX
right?
cameras.
Yeah. We are lacking in that, basically because it comes down to finances.
I was literally about to say everything you said can be summarized into budget and financing,
Yeah. The production is lacking because we are lacking in the finances. And when you're talking about films like Nairobi Half-Life, you can see, I believe, if my memory serves me right, in the opening and the closing credits, you could see that this was something in partnership with, was it Goethe Institute? There was a German institute.
One fine day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we talk about things like Sugar, this was an MTV production.
Bro. Ooh, don't even get me started on that. That is
Sugar
amazing.
Season 1.
Bruh,
know.
amazing. Loved it.
These are institutes and companies with enough budget to finance high quality production.
Definitely.
So the filmmaker comes and says, I want a film that looks like this and feels like this because it captures Nairobi in the dark, if it's in the case of Sugar. I want something that captures the scope of Kibera in Nairobi Half-Life. So I need this lens, I need this lens, I need an editor who can do this on the fly, I need someone who's very good at color grading to give it that, that kind of grayish, orange feel that you get when you're watching drug dealer movies. That color that they put for Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
You need someone
the Mexico filter.
The Mexico filter, yeah. You need someone who is knowledgeable in that to bring that to life.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, most people don't have funding for that.
Yeah.
And because even the culture in Kenya as large is not very accommodating to art, not so many people are willing to put down money.
Yeah.
Say like, you go tell your dad, I'm putting down this film, can you invest 500,000 in this? Your dad will probably tell you that 500,000, I'd rather pay your school fees.
Fact.
Because no one cares for film that much to invest in it, right? And so that affects the production, and that's why most Kenyan film, someone will just shoot with what they have.
Yeah.
If I have a phone, if I have a camera that, that's for news, if I know someone who has a camera that's used for like what we're using now for podcasts, that's what I'll use.
Yeah,
I'm not going to use cameras specifically made for film. If I have a camera for vlogging, that's what I'll use, right? So those high quality production projects are restricted to big and renowned filmmakers like what we have with Tosh, Gitonga and Inside Job, and the Abel Mutua movie A Christmas Love, because Abel Mutua is known. So there's guarantee on return of investment.
Yeah.
And so that's why most films end up looking kind of the same, like low budget or mid budget, and like there isn't a certain, someone can't really get stylized because you actually don't know the editor to edit to that particular style of the movie. You probably have one big production company like Philip Production, and they're limited technically with what they have, the editors they have, the camera crew they have, and so all their productions look the same. And everyone wanting to make a movie will go to Philip. Everyone want to make a movie will go to Tosh Gitonga.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they kind of feel the same. In terms of why they feel the same, point number 2 is in terms of the storytelling. I don't buy into this idea where people say we're not telling our stories.
Yeah.
I feel like we are telling our stories, but the way the story is being told is not very relatable, right?
Okay.
Because we don't really portray those stories in detail. And that comes down to what I was talking about, the theater between link and film. When you see most actors and script writers and directors, these are people who've crossed over from theater performance.
Yeah.
You can look at, since the age of like Vitimbi with Kinamzeo Joang, these were people who are majorly
Stage actors.
stage actors.
Yeah.
And then they've transitioned to now act behind, but now in front of the camera. Now that acting has come from the stage to the camera, and these are two different nuances, but we're still using stage. With stage, you're performing in front of a crowd. So you have to be loud and you have to be very expressive with your body. And that's come onto, that's why you find most actors and most characters, it's even embedded in the writing. Most characters are mostly over the top. You see, you found like Mamito is extremely funny and Jakivike is extremely reserved. We haven't mastered this nuance of in between, both in terms of portrayal and even in terms of writing. There are those characters where you can feel he doesn't talk much. He has to he's shy. He has to whisper into the camera. Or there are those people who don't speak much, but there's this thing called subtle acting. There's this YouTuber called Thomas Flight. He did a good video on the art of subtle acting.
Yeah. And
I feel like those are the nuances that distinguish good performances from great performances. So we have good performers in Kenya because they are good at the highlights. I'm extremely sad, I'm extremely funny, I'm extremely angry, I'm extremely reserved. But what about the in-betweens, like when the character besides me said something funny and I have to portray it that I find you suspicious without actually showing it like in, through a bodily expression. Because if it was in theater, it would be like, hey, but if in film, you can, in some movies, you just see the shift in your facial expression.
Yeah.
And that's complemented by, the close-up shots with the production, what we are talking about.
Yeah.
So I feel like the acting and writing from theater play has not evolved to film acting, because even in Hollywood, most of these actors were in stage play.
Yeah.
But when it comes to film, they know how to put in those nuances. And so the writing rewards big portrayals of emotion. Have to be extremely funny, have to be extremely, dramatic. And then we miss out on these nuances that hit home. So I feel like, so in a nutshell, we look the same because of production. We are limited production-wise.
Yeah.
Because it comes down to the budget, which gives us less access to better cameras, better editors, better training for future filmmakers. And they feel the same because we are still using the writing and the exposure we've gotten from theater. And theater is still a huge thing in Kenya.
Definitely.
And it's coming into film. From actors who used to do stage play from like primary school with like Kenya Drama Festival, they're still bringing those lessons into film acting.
Yeah.
So we are here to distinguish between theater and film. And that's why our movies and our writing and our stories are still being told the same way. That's what I think. You seem like you are about to oppose.
Yeah, because I think especially on the writing part, now again, every writer is different.
Yeah.
So I can see how I do agree with you to some extent that yes, because you're used to writing like this, so that's how maybe even when you are writing from stage and you're moving to transition into film, I do see how maybe some of the nuances might be missed even in the writing. But when it comes to the acting, bro, that's the director's job. I should be able to tell you like, you see what you've done there? I like it. Now tone it down to a 5. That was an 8. I need you to bring it down to a 5. I want the same expressions, but I don't need you to be as loud or whatever, you know? Because as you said, when you're when you're on the stage, you have to project. Because again, I personally believe that stage actors, I mean, again, and that's why I'm saying that one I'd say, bro, is on the director of the film. Because as a stage actor, when you're acting, you need to make sure that even the guy sitting at the back should be able to hear you and should be able to, if not even be able to see you fully, even by the way your body is moving, they should be able to get the emotion you're trying to portray. So I'd say now, in film, you're right. It's definitely, you don't have to be as expressive as you are in theater. So I'd say now that one, bro, is on the job of the director. I should be able to tell you, hey, bro, you know, just, that was a lovely performance, but this is what I'm going to need you to do. I'm going to need you to just tone it down a bit. What you did over here was great. Now, instead of putting your arms all the way up there, throw them to the other character. Instead of throwing them up, because not everybody needs to see this, throw them towards that person and things like that. So I'd say that one is big part on the director. And as me, as somebody who would love to be, you know, one day I'd want to be a renowned ass person. Number 2, it's definitely budget. But I'd also say a lot of the Hollywood was built after the Second World War. And a lot of the people who funded those original movies were trying to clean money, either drug money or war profiteers. So that's where they would send the money to be washed. Because it's also very easy to clean money in film. Hey, drug dealers, by the way, if you need your money cleaned, holla at your boy. Like, legit. And that's even a joke me and some friends of mine used to make, like, oh, Kenya's biggest drug dealer. At the time, I think it was a governor of this county of ours. And we used to say, bro, if that guy wanted to wash money, tell him to come and we'll make a movie for him. I've rented this camera from... And, well, that's also another thing I'll get into about the way most of the equipment are gotten from like 2 or 3 major guys. But yeah, so like literally whatever, if my camera is going to cost me 300,000 to lease from them, I'll put 500,000. Bro, you know, a lens, not even a camera, bro. A lens itself could cost you 50,000 to lease per day. To lease. Oh my God. Bro, that thing needs to come back to them unless you're paying for the next 24 hours. So things like that are what really, as you're right, it's about the budgeting. We don't have people that are willing to, again, spend money like that. And it's across all creative industries. That's another reason why a lot of musicians you find, like in Kenya, bro, guys will release singles throughout the year, but cannot release an album. Because nobody is willing to fund them to be able to, like you, this money I'm giving you is for you to get from home to the studio. Whichever producer you want, that is what the money is for. Whichever feature you want to get, that is what the money is for. We don't have people that are willing to invest in artists like that. So hopefully one day drug dealers will be like, this is a good industry to clean our money in. And brother, let me tell you, the movies that will come out of Kenya then will be glorious. But it's also a thing of government involvement. Even though we all wanted this guy out of here, we can't deny the fact that Sakaja allowed creatives to go into town and shoot freely. It's now being taken advantage of by criminals on where they'll pretend to be shooting content and go and rob people. But hopefully security increases so that people can shoot more freely. But that ability, my guy, really used to hinder us, my G. I don't know, me personally. And there were days where we used to go to town, you could only shoot on Sunday. And even on that Sunday, you'd be shooting, well, I'm holding the camera. Somebody else is watching out, making sure we're good on all ends, you know? To make sure Kanjo doesn't come out of anywhere and put all of us exactly.
The license
you know?
to shoot here.
So that's really a privilege that we have started to get. Like, for example, in New York, it is free to shoot whatever movie you want. But because of it's the fact that it's free, you're not going to be the only movie there. So you'd find literally 3 productions back to back have blocked out a street. You immediately, your production is done shooting, next person comes in. Immediately they're done, next person comes in, like that. But it's also because, one, they have like the freedom. At least we've gotten there. We don't yet have the security to do it, but at least we've been given that liberty. If you have your I've forgotten what it's called, but the license.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need it, but if you have like the badge and everything, I've forgotten what it's called. But yeah, you have liberties. Nobody's gonna come and ask you, what are you doing here? Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And it's honestly beautiful to see. Like even those photographers that disturb you in town as you're walking down, picture. Bro, I think that is a slight evolution.
Yeah.
We've not perfected it yet, but that's at least an evolution. Those were guys who had cameras and lights in their house but never used them.
Yeah.
But now they can even go on the street, and guess what, bro? There are people, maybe you wouldn't, maybe I wouldn't, but there are people who will pay to take that photo in town happily.
Yeah. And people actually do take those
They
photos.
do, man.
Yeah.
And honestly, so I think we do genuinely need people who are willing to like give that money on. But I do also understand the fact that people right now, if you are going to give that money, you want the assurance that whatever you're giving the money to will return it plus profit.
Yeah.
But before we get there, my guy, we're gonna need some people who are going to be like, I don't mind losing the money,
Yeah.
but from the money that I need clean, this is what I'm gonna need back. The rest of it, do what you want.
If not for people trying to clean money, we would benefit from a lot of goodwill.
Imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I find it's actually sad because even bruv, I've had friends who've worked with these big organizations that have funded a lot of our major movies. Like, hey bro, hey my guy, I had some people that have worked with One Fine Day Films, now the guys who even funded Nairobi Half-Life.
Yeah.
And their experience having to deal with those white people is the level of racism you would expect to be there in the 80s is the same thing those guys are experiencing till date. And we need to get to a point where we're not relying on white people to come and save us, bro.
Yeah.
Like I was talking about the Mr. Beast world building situation. Why is it our BBC, whenever they make a documentary, that's when the government is like, okay, we're going to investigate this.
Yeah.
We need to get to a point where we stop relying on those white people to now come and be like, you're really talented. You know what? I killed like 20,000 of your ancestors. You know, here's some money. Go do something artistic. Here's some money.
Yeah.
So we do need to get to that point where even the government feels that, hey, by the way, you know what? This industry is actually worth investing in. And a lot of the time, like even if you hear the way a lot of international people speak about how the movie industry was made, it's because the government realized that this is a way to control people.
Yeah.
As long as people are entertained, you know? They're not going to be thinking about all the other things.
I can't help but think about I don't know if I say this, if YouTube will give us a strike. Yeah, but that one guy with a mustache from World War II that killed lots of people. He had
Mr. Mustache Man.
Yeah. He even had, I don't know if it was a ministry, but there was a guy called Goebbels in his government. Kazi yake ilikuwa tu propaganda.
Yeah.
Wherever Germany is, cameras will be there. And you will make a documentary.
Man.
It's the Olympics. If you're going to make a film about a German soldier, if you're going to make a film about me, Man. But we are going to tell story through film.
Exactly.
And that also makes me think about something else, which is the audience. I feel like there isn't much appreciation in terms of art in our country and in the continent at large, whereby it's purely entertainment.
Oh, true.
There isn't that aspect of, even for me as the consumer, just to enjoy how beautiful this thing is and that this is a way of life. It's not a way of life, it's just entertainment.
Yeah.
You see how we had what is like the French New Wave. Well, we have evolved from like Akira Kurosawa, from like the Seven Samurai.
Yeah.
And now we have a whole new art form that is anime, that is taking over the world. You know,
do you
because
know? I'll finish.
The society and the people themselves had an appreciation for art. You know, so I fail to see where, why we don't have that appreciation for art, given that we have stories from old, we have our own myths, we have our own lore from different communities. Maybe this is a thing of history, where at some point we lost track of our art forms, and that hasn't crossed over into the modern age. Because I feel like with what even Jotham was saying, if the creatives offer something of value, something relatable and entertaining, it's what will make people see, what will create demand,
Yeah.
and the demand will now bring in the investors.
Yeah.
So right now we're trying to make comedies in the traditional Hollywood comedy sense.
Yeah.
You know, we're not trying to like discover our own ways of storytelling. That's why I say we have our stories, we are telling our stories,
Yeah.
but the storytelling is not the storytelling in our way. We're trying to go through the storytelling ways of Nolan
Yeah.
and Akira Kurosawa and Jean-Luc Godard, you know, the renowned filmmakers, the standards
Yeah.
that have been set in film right now, not knowing that even in our limitations, we can still create a new form of storytelling.
Oh, definitely.
But I wouldn't blame the storytellers per se, because I feel like the storytellers are doing what has worked.
Yeah, of course.
Storytellers in Kenya are telling the stories through methods that have worked.
Yeah.
So if one of them days, which is the movie featuring Caesar and Kiki Palmer,
Yeah.
was a buddy comedy
Yeah.
with these two buddies, you know,
You know,
then
I have
can-
it on my list on Netflix. I have not watched it yet.
You should.
I've really been wanting to. Even when I saw the
Yeah.
trailer originally,
Yeah.
I really, really want to. Bro, Kiki Palmer, one of my favorite actresses.
Yeah.
I think I have every Scissor album downloaded.
So you can see if that sets the formula for a female-led comedy story, that is the template for Inside Job. We just change the story. And it's because that's what audiences have warmed up to. So maybe even us as audiences, as the Kenyan audience, need to take art more seriously. And I feel like that's been a journey. And we're in a renaissance right now, especially with the young guys, with content creation being a means of marketing. And that's why we are also starting to see content creators as actors and actresses in film.
Yeah.
Because there's this appreciation of art that's happening.
Yeah,
and then
bro,
now if the creatives know that, are feeling that there's this appreciation, people love going to movies, people love sitting at home to binge watch film. And then now we start making that transition from theater acting to stage acting. The product becomes more value and the demand will start growing, right? Yeah.
I think the demand is there. Another thing that we also suffer from is just affordability.
Yeah.
Because, for example, and this is, I guess, the first movie that I ever actually professionally directed. Like, the entire team I was working with, let me tell you, the producers, my co-director, amazing, amazing people. To the point where, like, the work we had put into this, we decided this isn't just going to, we can't just screen this in a hall somewhere. So we actually went to, what's the name of this place? Unseen Cinema. And we screened it there. Bro,
Nice.
The first weekend sold out to the point where we had to put it again for the next weekend for other guys to come and see it. So that means the audience is there.
Yeah.
The tickets, I can't remember how much we sold them for the first time, but it was affordable enough that we sold out the theater. Genuinely, I had to fight for me. I think one of my producers actually had to buy his own ticket, and I told him, can you stop being stupid? But you've worked on this, not just the movie, the event as well. You deserve that free ticket. I had to fight for free tickets for the cast as well, because people did want to actually come and see these underground movies. And so we have like Juiced Film Festival. We have like what I was telling you about, it's called Mini Movie Marathon. I believe there was another one supposed to be coming up where they get movies from underground guys and just screen them. Because apart from like shorts, which again is also in a class of its own. It's not it's no longer, I'd say, for underground filmmakers. In my opinion, I do not know. You guys tell us. But so there is the audience, and the fact that there are so many underground film festivals shows that, one, there are the creatives who are doing the work. Two, is that there's the audience that's willing to consume it. And a beauty about it again is that through these film festivals, you'd get to see like again, variety of movies. There are
Mhm.
people who made movies in 2019 but will be seen by a large audience in 2025 because that's the point where they've been given the platform.
Mhm.
And so I'd say the industry now, we need to get to a point where we don't just make movies that we're trying to submit for international film festivals.
Mhm.
Because I don't know if you know, but like even with the Oscars, before a movie goes to the Oscars, you'll find them at Morocco Film Festival, you'll find them at TIFF,
Mhm.
you even Durban International Film Festival. Like,
Yeah.
it's an entire circuit before, so your film is seen by all these independent producers and everything
Mhm.
for them to recommend it. Like, by the way,
Mhm.
that one I think should go to the Oscars.
Yeah.
So I think now in Kenya, we do need to also build that up a bit more.
Mhm.
Yes, you'll have your guys who are obviously going to be like your A-list movies. Like, try and tell me this movie, you won't find it as one of the ones at this next Kalasha.
Yeah.
It definitely will be because it's one of the only ones.
Mhm.
So we need to get to a point where all these other underground guys like, so you're going to go to Juice Film Festival.
Mhm.
You're going to go to mini movie marathon.
Yeah.
Then you're going to go to short shots.
Yeah.
From short shots, boom, you're thrown into Kalasha.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not going to win. Maybe it's not going to be the headlining one, but you're going to win, best upcoming filmmaker.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
type of stuff. So I
Yeah.
think we as an industry as well, not just as the consumers. Of course, the consumers, guys, you need to pay for films.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
it's so sad that in Kenya, if I was to make a blockbuster,
Mhm.
bro, I'm putting that thing on Tubi for free.
Yeah.
Go watch it on whatever site, 123 movies, whatever.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because that's the way I know it's going to get to the audience.
Mm.
Like, I've forgotten the name of the movie, but this was like last month or 2 months ago. I've forgotten the name of the movie. But the director himself put the movie on Pirate Bay for people to go and watch.
This was a local movie.
No.
Mm.
But I wish we need to start doing more of that.
Yeah.
I've forgotten the name of the movie. It was an international movie.
Mhm.
But he literally put it on Pirate Bay for people to go and download and stream for free.
Yeah.
But the catch was, at the beginning of the movie, he put like a 5-minute speech by him, like, yeah, I know you're not going to pay for the movie, but I still want you to be able to enjoy my work.
Yeah.
So the least you can do is, even though you have illegally pirated this, just share it.
Yeah.
Tell your friends who can afford to go and watch it in the cinema. And that was it.
Yeah.
And I think in Kenya, we do need to get more of that culture. Like, bruv, Netflix in Kenya used to be free. I don't want to get into the details of whatever scandal made Netflix cancel that. That's a story for another day. But we were the first country in the world to have free Netflix. So even like a movie like Inside Job,
Yeah.
you'd have found that during those days, everybody would have at least been able to download it and watch it. As long as you have Netflix on your phone, you've signed up, boom, you should be able to watch Inside Job.
Yeah.
So that's why that mode of distribution was so amazing. Because I think it was really good, because if you pay for Netflix, you get the full library. If you're not able to, you can watch like season 1, season 2 of some shows.
Yeah.
Some shows maybe like literally 3 episodes. And I think that really worked, because it's like people still do get the access to Netflix. Everybody would get the access to Netflix, but maybe you might not get the access to all the content.
Yeah.
So I think really, we partially know what the Kenyans did to get us, in that reputation.
Yeah.
But I genuinely think we need to go back to things like that, because that level of distribution is what will allow like more of this. Like Inside Job, bro, I'm sure if you go and ask somebody in Mashinani, did you see this movie? They're going to say no.
Yeah.
And it's not that they wouldn't have enjoyed it. Bro, that guy would have probably found that even more hilarious than we did.
I think maybe like guys like us, we're a bit more conscious. But for the casual viewer,
exactly,
they would have loved it.
Man.
Yeah.
And so now I think it's about how maybe if now that movie is streamed on Citizen, that's how you're going to get it to the audiences around the country. So
yeah. So just to stay on track. What I think makes Kenyan movies look and feel the same is the production.
Yeah.
And that also comes down to budget. So we can say production and budget. 2 is the storytelling technique.
Yeah.
Where we're still crossing over we're still using theater type storytelling for film type storytelling. So we're missing out on the nuances that make it more relatable and hard hitting.
Yeah.
3, after our discussion, which I can say is now the overall appreciation for the art form
Yeah.
in the country, and of course now the distribution.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it might be mid-level, but as long as people keep on getting bombarded by the local films, I feel like that trains the audience to now accept it. Like it's there. It's like how people say sipendi ngoma za Kenya, but unajua kuna ngoma za Kenya.
Oh yeah.
Utaisikia kwa mat,
Fact.
utaisikia kwa club. Eventually you'll have a favorite. Sisikizangi ngoma za Kenya but Sauti Sol. Sisiki ngoma za Kenya but Lil Maina, because you've been forced to accept by through
all your
exposure.
friends are going to,
Yeah, through exposure. Even not your friends, just you walk down the street and do the America poster a Lil Maina hapo, somewhere or on the Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's the lacking in exposure, lacking in budget. We still yet to get there in terms of storytelling wise. That's why those people who can do it so well are the very few, and those are the harbingers of the culture right now. I feel like we are now where Kenyan music was in like 2005. But if you're not in beat of the week, watu watakujua.
Yeah.
And they are gatekeepers.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I don't feel the feeling of gatekeepers from the film events I've been to. I don't get the feeling
of
making
a movie and then you'll see it.
Okay, but I was saying I don't feel the feeling of gatekeepers. I just feel is people not knowing who to approach in this sense. But you say there are.
Well, that's a story for another day.
Yeah, that's a story for another day. But those are my 4 reasons. What are your reasons? If you to summarize them in bullet points.
Budget, number one. We need better financing and government support. Number two, I always say the devil's in the details. A thing that I've realized with a lot of sets is even something as simple as a storyboard. A lot of people don't make a storyboard. So that's something like, even for example, with Inside Job, like the devil is in the details, bruv. There was a scene when they're outside at night and the watchman, I think, is when they put the Indian face. The street lights are clearly like white lights or like very soft warm lights, but you can see the street light and you can see the film light, the actual light, and it's a very strong warm light, so you can tell the difference, so it doesn't look natural. So I'd say the devil's in the details. A lot of people don't spend time on pre-production, and so that's why we end up having those little mistakes here and there. So yeah, budget, pre-production, man. But because I won't lie, like when it comes to the storytelling, you can even see like the difference between something that Enos Olik did versus something that Tosh Gitonga did. It's sad that I don't have a third name to bring up, but you can still see the individual.
Ruben Odanga.
Bombo Clat, thank you. Man, how
stick around guys.
Ban, hey, my memory is trash. But so the fact that again we only have 3. My guy, I'm sure if I asked you to name 10 directors from the States without listing European ones, you'd be able to. So I think we do need like a lot more like funding to that, because even like, for example, like even like with Philip Productions, the last movie they did, forgotten what it's called. But this is the one. Okay, like this Click Click Bang. What is the one you mentioned? The Christmas
Love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know who directed it?
Was it not Philip Karanja and Abel Mutua?
Okay, at least you're educated.
Yeah.
Who was the cinematographer?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, well, it's just to say that, like, for example, I don't know, maybe the casual viewer doesn't focus on cinematographers as much, but I think as Kenyans, we need to be able to like uplift those guys, We need to be able to treat those guys like I don't know, maybe not celebrity, but I think that's the word I'm going to do, because I feel like a lot of these people, yes, we know them and we know the work they do, but I don't think we give them flowers as publicly as like the international audience would, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like at some point, Kenya National Theatre, from the gate until the UON gate, we need to have our own Star Hall Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
If it's not National Theatre Nairobi Cinema, we revamp it instead of making it a church, you know? We put like a Star Walk of Fame over there.
Yeah.
Because, I think it's just like the fact that we're so easy to forget like the films that we came from. Man, like one of my favorite movies shot in Kenya, it's not a Kenyan movie per se. Black Emanuela. To all my freaks out there, you know what I'm talking about.
But
Huh? Yes. In fact, that is
I know
the
what I'm watching
movie,
tonight.
bro. That is the movie that why we have such strict film policies here in Kenya. It's
Wait, for real?
yeah, that it is the movie, and bro, that movie
Wait,
is
it's actually
so
what?
amazing. Yeah, it
I
is.
thought I thought this was sarcasm.
No.
Oh my
no,
God.
no. But yeah, it's a genuine amazing, because bro, those people follow, like the story starts with a lady coming to Kenya. You don't even want to know what she does on the airplane.
Yeah.
But we're going to start the story from when she lands at JKIA. Bro, they have shots of JKIA. They have inside the terminal. I remember even me as a kid, the first time flying in that place, they still had the same posters there. And I'm like, how did you guys not change this from the 80s?
Yeah.
And they have shots of even Nairobi, shots that filmmakers in Nairobi today would have to pay 1 million shillings to be able to get. They have those shots of Uhuru Highway, of those guys driving down, bruh. I'm not even going to lie to you. We're going to get a bit raunchy over here. But how I discovered that movie was X videos. Literally, I was like, bro, I know that petrol station. That's on the way to my shags.
So you weren't watching it to get off. You're watching it for the plot.
Bro, legit. And it's genuinely a movie that, like any filmmaker that's a friend of mine, I'm sure I've told you about that movie, or I have given you that movie.
Yeah.
So that you just see the culture, bro. These people had access to shots that people can't get today.
Yeah.
And I think, well, one, it's depressing as F. But the fact that they had that, bro, it's amazing. And I'm also somebody who's like, you know, that taboo culture is what we need to push to be able to get guys out of this rant.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, but hopefully maybe
We
that's
need
going
something shocking to break the cycle.
Exactly. Do you remember like when
We
Sauti
got
Sol-
close with Rafiki, but
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Wanori Kahio for that one, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, like even, do you remember when Sauti Sol released the Nishike video?
Yeah, and it was
My
like,
guy, I remember all my aunties were complaining about it, but they were watching it.
yeah. So I think that's where we are.
Yeah.
We'd also like to hear your opinions. Those are our educated analysis, and I think we're in a renaissance right now.
Yeah.
So there's still hope. There's a lot of hope.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of appreciation and demand right now,
Man.
for better films, and we need a lot of distributors to come forth so that the audience also warms up. Right? Yeah. So thank you so much for engaging in that discussion. It was good to get a perspective from someone who is actually an active filmmaker.
Gracias, man. As always, man, it's been enjoyable.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed this conversation with Campez, the nerd evangelist.
Thank you.
Man, keep on.
We will keep on. Thank you for being a co-host today. And we'd like to leave the guys with something to go home to think about on top of this conversation. We want something that will contextualize it for you, which brings us to Read the Room, which is our segment where we highlight movies and TV shows to watch this week based on global events and occurrences in movies and TVs and around the world. And so we'll take it to film first. And for our first pick of the day, we have The Conjuring, Last Rites. This is the
new one?
famous horror movie. Yeah. This is the new one. It's dropping this Friday in cinemas. And so maybe
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Woo!
So maybe this will give you an insight into, when you're talking about production levels and different types of stories and storytelling, and what we've talked about today, like character-driven movies versus story-driven movies.
Yeah.
I hope you take these nuances and try to figure those out as you watch the movie. For our second pick, we have Demon Slayer Mugen Train or Infinity Train. For my anime fans out there, this one is for you because
Been waiting
next
to watch
week,
that one.
yeah, I will definitely be there.
Yeah.
Because next week, Demon Slayer, what's it called? Infinity Castle is coming to Kenyan cinemas September 12th. We used to pray for times like this.
Man.
Me personally, niliandika my proposal to get this film, but now they're
Nice,
coming.
bro.
So it's good to see that the fan base is growing and that we're actually
Yeah.
getting these films in Kenya. And let's go support it. The more we go watch it, the more we get these films. It's fantastic that there's an advanced screening on 10th. The movie is coming out on 12th, but there'll be an advanced screening 2 days before on 10th.
I hope we'll be there.
Garden City has already sold out one screen.
Look at that.
And they just announced they opened another one. So I love that there's more love there. And it's testament to like when we start telling our own stories in our own techniques, with our own limitations and transforming them into an art form, that they will eventually take over the world.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I do. But haven't you seen? I think Disney did an African production, like fully African production release. I've forgotten the name.
Kizazimoto.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was also really good.
Oh,
I think,
I'm yet to see it. I've been sleeping on it.
Yeah.
And I think it was also featured in Nairobi Film Festival last year. Yeah.
I personally really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's another thing too. That's a plus on Read the Room. For our third pick, we have Before Sunrise. And this is coming from what you had highlighted on your show yesterday about passport bros coming to Kenya to talk down on our women based off the incident that happened. And I'm glad that this guy who was assaulting this Kenyan woman is actually in custody right now.
Yeah.
But Before Sunrise is an example of a passport bro story done right. Like when they actually go to another country and fall in love there, So it's not exactly the passport bro situation.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the antithesis of that, because we follow this guy who is traveling in Europe and starts a conversation with this French woman on the train, and they end up falling in love and actually getting married.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you guys go watch Before Sunrise. And for our last pick of the day, of course, we have Nairobi Half-Life.
Woo.
Based off the conversation we just had, why Kenyan movies look and feel the same. And this has been highlighted as the holy grail of the best Kenyan movie ever made. Everyone brings it up in a conversation. So go see. I don't know if it's on YouTube.
I think so. I think it is on YouTube.
I think it should be on YouTube because
Yeah.
it was a movie in 2000s. But I don't think what you find on YouTube is from the official filmmakers. Maybe someone has just uploaded it. But yeah, I'm sure you'll find it somewhere on the internet, if not on YouTube.
Yeah.
So go see Nairobi Half-Life. Go see why people say it looks and feels different, and why it's been the talk of the town since like 2009 and there.
Yeah.
If you can, also go see Rafiki, see why it caused a star, and why it's also regarded as one of the best Kenyan movies ever made.
Yeah.
And that's all we have for you today, folks.
Man.
Thank you for listening to our reviews. Thank you for listening into our debate, and for being the first to listen to our hits and the hot music that we have always lined up for you. Thank you to the Hotep from Nairobi, an intellectual filmmaker, and he called himself an educated racist.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, very, very.
Yeah,
very.
yeah. Leave the fans with something. Tell us where to find you. Tell them about your show and what to expect from you.
So mine is just very quick, as he said, bro. I'm the Hotep from Nairobi. You can find me everywhere like that, man. But yeah, if you wanna tune in, if you wanna hear me talking smack, tune into Icon Radio.
Thank you.
But so I'm gonna leave everybody watching, plus you, with some homework.
Yeah.
You need to get black educated. Now this is where the Hotep side comes in. I don't even have my hat. But so I want you to go and check out, and hopefully if again next week by a miracle, if somebody doesn't want to be in this seat,
Yeah.
I want you to go and look for Gentleman of the Jungle,
Mm-hmm.
which is an African movie. I've forgotten what the the story is. Gentleman of the Jungle. It's what I was telling you earlier, the parable by Jomo Kenyatta
Yeah.
that was turned into a Russian film. And next week we can discuss the nuances of that.
Mm-hmm.
I've forgotten what it's called, what the Russian film itself was called, but I'm sure if you look for... No, the film itself is called An African Tale,
Mm-hmm.
but it's based on the parable, Gentleman of the Jungle.
Mm.
So we're going to review it, hopefully, if there's nobody here next week. That's
Yeah.
the one I want you to go and check out.
Yeah.
I also want you to go and look for Black Emanuela,
Mm-hmm.
so you can see how much, like, privilege that these white people had to shoot around Kenya. Because
Yeah.
you can't do that nowadays. Like, I'm telling you, it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But even aside from just like the nudity and the sex part of the film,
Mm-hmm.
like even just like the story, like, there's a lot of, even what I was saying with the Passport Bros, jungle fever,
Yeah.
of where you see like both the white and both white men and white women
Mm-hmm.
just over sexualizing black people.
Mm.
Like, it's again very, very well done. Like, if you focus on the other things aside from the sex,
Mm-hmm.
very amazing movie shot here in Kenya.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're going to recognize a lot of places.
Yeah.
And the last one is an African movie called Senegalese, if I'm not wrong,
Mm-hmm.
called Tukibuki.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now that's also another African classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I've forgotten the name of the filmmaker, but a few years ago, they actually had an entire film festival screening his movies from beginning to end at USIU.
Yeah.
So, and if you see, the movie Tukibuki
Mm-hmm.
has inspired a lot of African artists, even in the diaspora. Like, Little Sims has a few of those references in her music video Point and Kill.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's a very, very influential movie. So
Nice,
those are the
nice,
three.
nice.
That's your homework. Now that's Hotep homework.
Fantastic. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We do this Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. You only get these hot recommendations here on Certified Cinema.
Man.
Thank you for tuning in to Icon Radio, and we will see you next Thursday, and leaving you with Dundaing by King Kaka, because we're talking about the local scene and we're bringing it back home, and that's why I want to leave you with this banger. See you next Thursday. Dundaing by King Kaka.